Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 7th Track Titan community race. Today, it's the turn of the Abarth 500 Assetto Corse at Brands Hatch. Who's looking forward to this one? I know I am. I know someone else who's looking forward to this one. My co-commentator, Tom Jones.
Hello everyone, I am back after a week's hiatus and very happy that this combo's on. I suggested it and we've got it.
You can take full credit for it.
Oh, I am, don't worry.
So, Brands Hatch, interesting circuit. We're going to have some fun driving around here, I'm sure. And for the first time, actually, in the Track Titan community race, we've got a front-wheel drive car with the Abarth 500, which should make for some interesting racing. It's slightly different. It's not too much different from a rear-wheel drive car, but crucially, just a bit different.
Just a bit, as in the way the power's delivered is completely different.
Yeah, just a bit. So, more importantly, anyway, let's run around the lap. Tom, I'm sure, can run us through a fine lap of Brands Hatch. We're on board with Michelle Rodriguez. Right. Hit us with it, Tom.
Here we go, down Brabant Straight, the start-finish straight, flying into Paddock Bend, sorry. Hard on the brakes, just after the bumps to see. Getting quite sideways, a lot of oversteer from this car, seems to be. Very short wheelbase. Hard on the brakes here now for Druids, nice big lock up, don't want to be doing that. Keeping it nice and tight and getting on the throttle early, but not too early, because it will suffer from quite a lot of torque steer in this car. Then back on the brakes now for 30s, getting nice and tightly in, and then using that run off where they can. Try not to go too wide and get track limits violation. Then, sorry, that was Graham Hill, not 30s. And now into 30s, round we go. Getting on the throttle nice and early, very crucial because she's got the long run now to Hawthorns. Not quite sure, but might have the slipstream on the car ahead now. I don't think so from that distance, but maybe there'll just be a little bit. Nice on the brakes here, down a gear, back on the throttle nice and early and running it out wide, using that exit curve nicely, keeping it in gear and then getting back down. Ooh, nice little shortcut, and that running very wide there. That's not the ideal line, definitely not. Changing up one here into Sheens, which annoyingly most places don't have an exit curve there, which is quite frustrating. If you run it just too wide, you're going to be struggling. Then hard on the brakes now for Sterling's, and then out we go on the run to Clark's curve. Getting nicely into the slipstream of the car ahead now. Perfect. Brake down a gear, keep it in. The off camber here will cause you issues dragging you out wide, and then tuck it back into the slipstream, and that's a lap.
That was a rough lap from Michelle Rodriguez. Out of character for him.
It was putting me off, if I'm honest.
I could tell, but you know, it's the Abarth. It bites back, considering it's such a small car. It's got a bite to it. It really does.
Yeah, I think it'll be the short wheelbase upsetting it through the corners and into the braking zones. As we saw when it went into Paddock Hill, it just wanted to swap ends with him on turning. So might end up having a bit of that
corner. It certainly does around that corner. It's one of them that you touch the brakes, you get a bit of oversteer, and you're just sideways before you know. But fortunately, with the Abarth and with most front-wheel drive cars, you get a bit of oversteer. You just jam the throttle, and it brings it back straight. So we might see a few less spins, but we might see a lot more understeer.
No, if I'm honest, I'm expecting to still have quite a few spins. for such a small, short wheelbase car, it's got quite a bit of power. So we're going to have people making mistakes on the turn-in and then trying to overcorrect in it, not expecting it to then understeer itself back straight, and then you'll have people firing themselves off into the barrier. Is what I'm expecting anyway.
Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully it's not as much chaos as it was last week in the second race. But you missed this, Tom, but the second race start last week, I think we must have lost about 10 drivers. It was truly horrific. I'm not even kidding. But, you know, even with that lap, as we see Michelle Rodriguez go very sideways going through there, and you see just rescuing it, just jamming the throttle, he still put in the provisional pole lap with that. I'm not sure whether other drivers were just getting caught up in traffic or having similar kind of problems to him. But yeah, 1:41.947 for Michelle Rodriguez there, putting him provisionally pole as he comes around. I'm sure this is going to be a faster lap, unless that snap oversteer slowed him down a bit.
It's cost him.
Yeah, it has cost him over 2 seconds for that one. So let's see if there's anyone else that can improve. It doesn't look like Matt. There you go. Ryan Skywalker comes through, putting in a 1:41.697, and Jovan Oosthuizen with a 1:41.714, putting themselves well a second and a half ahead of Michelle. So some serious time to make up in this last lap, really, for these drivers. But all business as usual, really, with Ryan Skywalker up front. As we'd expect, we haven't got Jesus once again this week, unfortunately. I think he's having issues with his wheel, and he's decided to nobly not race because he doesn't want to ruin anyone's race.
That is very considerate of him.
It is, to be fair. A better man than me. And we fixed the leaderboard for this week with some fantastic help from Evil Goblin, who's given me a hand here, and we shouldn't have any imposter problems. So Diogo Texera will not be confused for Max Taker whatever again. It's not happening again.
As we see, watching on board Michelle Rodriguez doing ran wide through I think it was Dingle Dell. As someone's got horribly wrong through Sheens.
Looks like it was a 16th place Dankest Creature there with a mysterious bit of oversteer through Sheens, but very impressive nonetheless from all the drivers to have not had any serious incidents by the looks of it, because we've kept all of them. 20 drivers on the grid today. And Alex Heller is a happy man because he's got himself into the 143s, which was his goal for the day. But Michelle Rodriguez, not content with his outlap there, is going to pull in and he's going to hand over the provisional pole to Ryan Skywalker. So as we head into a bit of overtime here, as the last few drivers come round, it looks like it's going to be Ryan Skywalker on pole, from Jovan Oisthausen, from Michelle Rodriguez, from Max Taker, from Vetsku, the top 5 there. And quite a spread in the top 5, to be honest with you. You know, we've got
just a solid 1.2 seconds this time round.
Yeah, so from a 1:41.697 from Ryan Skywalker down to 5th for Vetsky, it's a 1:42.887. And no matter of fact, a lot of drivers struggling with track limits here. I know you can definitely get caught out as you go into the Cooper Straight, just out of Graham Hill Bend. You run a bit too wide there, you go straight off the track limits.
Yeah, like Max Taker's just done. He's just had another opportunity there to improve his lap, and I think he's not gone well. Yeah. So he's having some practice starts now, using this as an opportunity to nail that start.
See, look at that. That's the experience there. But yeah, only 13 drivers actually setting a valid lap this time round. We've got 7 drivers on the grid that didn't even manage to set a valid lap. And some fast drivers in amongst them, Thomas Vatte, Diogo Texera, Abimanyu Menon, all quite good drivers that we've seen before in the race. It's not actually setting a lap. So track limits might prove to be decisive this time round. So let's jump into the next session here, which is going to be the race. 60 seconds on the grid, of course, as always. And let's prepare ourselves. Let's get ourselves and get myself in the right place. Get myself on Ryan Skywalker in the lead.
There we go.
20 drivers tailing back round the corner, right back round the Brabham Straight here at Brands Hatch. Sadly quite famous recently as a place where Marshall's had lost their lives. So,
very
unfortunate. You might know it from the media, very, very unfortunate incident there, but from a few weeks ago. But more upbeat, 20 of our drivers on the grid now.
Yeah.
Getting ready.
Hopefully this goes well.
Prepared. Hopefully it goes well. 6 lights off. 6 lights going on. 6 lights on for 20 drivers on the grid for the 7th Track Time Community Race. And the lights are out and away we go. Ryan Skywalker making a very, very good start there, clearing himself right up to the front. But from 4th place, it looks like Victor Trinidad, or is that Michelle Rodriguez? Michelle Rodriguez from 4th, straight into 2nd place, and Max Taker battling away, pushing Michelle Rodriguez out wide, getting himself into 2nd place there. Up ahead, right at the front, it's still Ryan Skywalker. I want to say cautiously. It is Ryan Skywalker, followed by Max Taker, and then battling away further behind them. Is that Alex Heller and Michelle Rodriguez?
I'm not sure, but I know that Diego Texera has had an awful start and ended up crashing a few times.
Oh, terrible start for Diego Texera. A good driver who got 4th place, I think, actually, last week. But Evil Goblin here, in amongst the pack, battling away with drivers like Vetsku and Michelle Rodriguez as the timing tower struggles to update with the first lap. But your front 2 looks to be Ryan Skywalker from Max Taker from a bit. Oh, and someone's gone off. Someone's gone off in the background. It looks to be Alex Heller, I think it is, in the background, going off, having a bit of a mare. And I can't even keep track. Alex Heller having a bit of a nightmare race here. But up at the front, it's Michelle Rodriguez, Vetsku, and...
Nope, it's Ryan Skywalker to Max Taker, to Jovan Oosthuizen, and then Michelle Rodriguez and Vetsku, so top 5.
There we have it. Michelle Rodriguez here battling away with Jovan Oosthuizen coming into the Clark curve. Critical curve actually to get some good traction out of, but Max and Ryan Skywalker have just played off.
Yeah, they've had a really solid first lap. They've just driven away.
They have, and you know what? In a sprint race like this, Michelle Rodriguez goes sideways down Paddock Bend there. Coming too wide up Paddock Bend is this Vetsku and Antonio battling side by side, coming up into Druid's hairpin. Antonio trying to hang around the outside. It looks like there has been a terrible, terrible incident. Diogo Texera once again on the receiving end, but Antonio making a move round the outside of Vetsku. Vetsku pushing him wide, not giving him any quarter. Vetsku maintaining the 5th position ahead of Antonio, and Evil Goblin is going to gobble up Antonio himself, looking to the inside of Vetsku, but not able to make a move this time round.
That pun was evil of you.
Off the cuff. Off the cuff. Let's jump back to the front here. Ryan Skywalker and Max Taker battling away still. Very close together. Very good battles. But, you know, knowing these two, they're going to be boring. They're going to sit behind each other. I'm hoping that's the commentator's curse. Just don't tell anyone.
Don't say it. Shush.
As Sam854 seems to go wide in the background there, chasing down Evil Goblin. Oh, Evil Goblin must have had an incident there. He must have gone off, and he's dropped back down behind Sam854 and Alberto Rama. But there we go. After 2 laps, it's Ryan Skywalker from Max Taker, from Jovan Oosthuizen, from Michelle Rodriguez, from Vetsku. It's not changed since lap 1.
No.
They're all falling into line.
It's only 2 tenths separating the top 2 at the minute.
Very
I don't
true.
think the slipstream is quite as powerful in this car as some others, if I'm honest.
You know what? It's probably very likely with the power this car produces and this kind of track, which doesn't really lend itself too much, I would say, to slipstream without very many deep braking zones, except for here at Druids.
Oh, they're getting quite close to the front.
Really
both of them
are.
locking
Max
up places.
tailing Ryan Skywalker here, right on his bumper. Oh, any moves do you think, Tom? Any moves?
It's difficult because if you're going to make a move, you get good opportunities are into Hawthorns and into Druids. Really, Paddock Hill it's kind of, you have to have a really strong run through Clark if you want to get it. So it's a difficult one. Through after Hawthorns, you don't really have an opportunity then to Sterling's, and even then, you're going to have to be brave and try and send it round the outside of Sheens to get them on the braking zone into Sterling's, which, if we're honest, it's just not really going to work because there's not really any exit curb there to hold you, get you some grip, and they can just open up the wheel a bit and just show you the grass.
Just seeing Michelle Rodriguez run very wide in the background there, still chasing Jovan Oosthuizen. These little groups of 2, like you say, sit in line astern in this part of the track. There's not really many moves going to be made, is there? You know, like you said, you guys have to be brave and throw it on the outside.
Oh, I
and
think
hope it sticks.
Sam854's had an issue, either that or... Yeah, I think he has indeed.
Yeah, he's dropping down the order. Looks like he's a bit further back at Sheens. And potentially a little bit of an incident further back for 0-1, as he seems to be dropping down the order himself, having an off at Westfield Bend. But here we are. Still the same order for the top 5 after... Oh, and Ryan Skywalker runs wide out of Paddock Bend, and he hands first place to Max Taker there. There's the danger of the Abarth at this track. You get a little bit of understake around Paddock Bend, and suddenly you're in the grass.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the move today. That could be the move to stick it in first place.
Oh,
let's see if Ryan Skywalker can recover it. There you go, going sideways.
Huge kick over here, and Sam854 has retired.
Sam854 has had enough, had a bit of a torrid day, and he is said goodbye. Ryan Skywalker then battling with the car. He can't get this 500 activated.
No, and he's got the worries of Oosthuizen. I'm apologising.
Jovan.
I'm just
Let's
never.
just call him
Gonna,
Jovan.
gonna call him Jovan. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. He's got the
Jovan.
worries that if he makes too many mistakes, then he could have Jovan right up behind him. Alternatively, Max Tyken needs to make sure he's nice and clean, otherwise he's going to have both of them on him.
Very true. There's only, 2.5 seconds separating this top three. And Michel Rodriguez still, only 2 seconds behind, but not too far back. He's definitely within striking range. As Max see there, out of Sheen's running very wide onto the grass a bit. You don't want to do that too much.
I think now he's got the clear air in front of him. He's just allowing himself to open his lines up a bit more, so he's not having to worry about someone in front of him. And as you see, he's pulled 7/10 of a second through him just in that sector.
He has. I think Ryan Scoutcat's had a rough few corners there because Jovan is right on his back bumper, only 6/10 behind him, coming around the Brabham Straight into Paddock Hill. Is he going to try and make a move into Druids? Let's see. Coming down the hill, a dab a brake, getting back on the acceleration there, using curb. See, Ryan Scoucat cautious to use the curb and losing a lot of time to Jovan there.
Yeah, he's not getting his entry right at all into Paddock.
He's really struggling with it, and you know what? It's an easy corner to struggle with, and he's cautious now. He doesn't want to run into the sand because he knows that Jovan is going to pounce.
Yeah, I think the pressure's getting to him because his gearing is all over the place. He keeps changing it down on corner exits, so this is definitely pressure. He's feeling the pressure.
As he runs sideways
and
he goes
not going to
off.
help. And that's exactly what I was saying would happen. You overcorrect the slide too much, and it just grips up, and off you go.
And Jovan moves through into second place, and so does Michel Rodriguez into third. Ryan Scoucat is back on track, just ahead of Etsku there, but exactly what you were saying. He downshifted a bit too much and threw the car in, and you just get it oversteers very quickly, does his car, very, very quickly. And
Diego Teixeira is having an awful time with this car, down in 13th still. Sort of person you'd expect to work through the field very quickly. It's full 40 seconds off the leaders. Just really not getting on with this car at all.
A lot of our top drivers struggling. A lot of our top drivers really struggling in this car. Can't seem to get it activated. Let's look at Vetsku just behind Ryan Skywalker here. Ryan Skywalker, a top driver, a winner of Hot Lap Challenges of community races. Just can't get the knack of this 500. But there is 2 races, and everything could change into the second one. I can say that much now.
Indeed, having unless it's a plan from Diego, just sit at the back, understand you're not going to make the places this race, sit at the back and just be able to make the jump and everyone into the next one.
Maybe that is the tactic. I'm just looking back here to Victor Trinidad and Dan's creature as Victor Trinidad just runs onto the grass trying to carry all the speed through Sheens, coming around into Sterling's and down clearways. He's trying to gain on Darty's secret, but it doesn't look like it's going to be happening this time around. Just a few ahead of them, Diego Teixeira is still chasing that top 10 finish from Splinter, coming round the Brabham Straight down into the Paddock Bend. Just under a second between these two drivers. Diogo is going to look to get a good run through Paddock. But he really doesn't. He just gets onto the grass.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a different driver to what we normally see here today.
You know what? Some cars just aren't for some people.
Yeah. Like, for yourself, it's anything that goes fast.
Or slow.
It's just anything that goes, really, isn't it? You just like looking at them.
I thought we were bullying the drivers. I thought that was the name of the game.
Well, occasionally I've got to put it back on you.
Well, these are slow enough for me. I can manage these generally. Alberto Rama in 6th place, chasing down Vetsku. Vetsku dropped off the back of Ryan Skywalker a bit. Ryan Skywalker looking to make up them last 3 places, but Alberto Rama on the hunt for a bit of the 5th place action. Potentially doable, given there's 4.5 minutes left of this race plus another lap. That's probably going to be about 4 or 5 laps.
What are they doing? They're lapping about 140. Got 4 minutes left. It's going to be about 3 laps to go.
There we go. Hopefully, for some of these drivers, they can hold on or they can attack. Right at the back, Victor Trinidad still on the back of Dan's secret. Only for 13th place, but that's lucky 13th in Victor Trinidad's eyes because he's coming down clearways into Clark Curve. He's going to look to try and get a good run onto the next Brabham Straight. Look to the
Splinter
inside
has
there.
decided to go in the pit.
Splinter is pitting. Interesting move from him. Not sure whether he's just sitting this one out. Maybe he's quite had enough. He's coming out of the pits just in the background after shot there. He's just driven into the wall, so I assume that he is not participating in this race any further. Victor Trinidad taking a lot of grass there, similar to how Diego Texera did. Not the key to good lap times around here, people. Don't jump on the grass. Use the curbs. Victor Trinidad.
He's clearly not listening to what you're saying.
Victor Trinidad is not getting the intercom. I mustn't be going through on the PA on the Brands Hatch.
No, definitely not. But then again, these mighty Abarths make so much noise here, I don't think you'll be able to hear them.
I mean, we joke, but have you ever heard one go down a street? Sometimes I can't hear myself think.
I think that's normally the hole in the exhaust.
It probably is. Alberto Rama and Vetsky seem to have had a bit of a coming together. They're both drawn all across the track. Where are we now? Coming down
in
clearly.
prime position to capitalise.
Evil Goblin making the comeback. Gets past Vetsky.
He gets two.
He gets two.
On the side by side.
Not quite.
So intense.
And he's coming onto the Brabham straight.
He's got the run. Oh, what's going on?
3 wide down the Brabham straight here at Brands Hatch. These drivers all battling over 6th place, over 5th place rather. Alberto Rama coming ahead into Paddock Bend, going 2 wide down Paddock Bend. Evil Goblin on the inside. Vetsky on the outside. Vetsky gets the better run because he goes around the outside and he carries more speed down the straight. Vetsky were looking to make a move on Alberto Rama. Alberto Rama defends hard into Druids, coming around the hairpin. Coming into the Graham Hill bend, Vetsky's going to look to make another move. Evil Goblin just needs to sit behind and capitalise on these two coming together because it seems like it's already happened once. It could happen again, but that's not going to help Vetsky. He's gone onto the grass.
That's got to be a slowdown, surely.
I think it's 3 warnings and 3 ones and a drive through here. Evil Goblin on the outside of Surtees, looking to make a switch back. But he's caught Vetsky when he slowed himself down. That's the worst thing you can do in a cutback. You just can't catch the other driver. You lose all your pace and you slow yourself down. Evil Goblin going to try and get some slipstream then.
And if you're Rama right now, you are celebrating because these two are slowing themselves down and you're just getting away.
100% Alberto Rama, after coming together with Vetsky, gets past him and then he's in the clear as long as these two behind him keep battling. Vetsky and Evil Goblin. Can Evil Goblin try and capitalise on some of Vetsky's mistakes here? Because he is having scrappy laps, but there again, Evil Goblin is having some scrappy laps himself. Let's see how this one goes. 1 minute 20 left on the clock to make a move. Evil Goblin getting a much better run through Sheens there, getting a bit of speed into Sterling's.
Fantastic, hooks it up nicely, gets good exit.
Onto clearways. Evil Goblin should be coming right onto Vetsky's back here. Down clearways. Into the Clark curve. Can Vetsky get that good run that he got last time? Not quite. He's in the grass. How is he keeping ahead here? Evil Goblin must be getting some early braking going on, but coming through the Brabham straight.
I have no idea.
Still ahead. Oh, Evil Goblin looking to the inside. Not quite going to happen this time down Paddock Bend, but he's learning and he's taking the wider line. Both the drivers
He's got the run.
He's got the run. Evil Goblin's ahead before Druids. He's already made the move before Druids.
Hold the inside. They made contact, but everyone's okay.
He holds the inside. Vetsky's on the outside.
I think he's clear.
That's it. Evil Goblin is through on Vetsky. As long as he can hold it together. Oh, but that's not going to help. Evil Goblin making the same mistake Vetsky did last time round. Getting on the grass coming through the Cooper Straight. Coming into Surtees now, Evil Goblin.
He's gone way too wide. Oh my, he's not making it easy for himself. He was thrown away.
He was thrown away and he's thrown it away.
Vetsky ahead.
Evil Goblin tucking in behind. He's gonna shrimp. He's gonna try and get his head down.
Oh, he got on the brake early there. He has thrown Vetsky a bone there to make him think twice, and it did work. He just needs to commit more to going.
He really did. He's coming through to the last couple of laps now.
He's been really, I think he's been a bit overcautious. If I'm honest, there is 2 laps to go at the line, so we'll see how it goes from there.
1 lap to go at the line now. Oh, he tries to make a dive, but he doesn't quite get it. It's not going to happen this time around. Vetsky stays ahead this time, coming down clearways and into the Clark curve, but I want to just jump ahead momentarily, see if we can keep an eye on this, because Max Taker is coming around to take his final lap here.
Yeah, I would also just like to say that I think Jovan has had an issue because he's dropped back awfully. He's just posted a 1:47. He's lost 5 seconds to Ryan Skywalker. There's only 2.5 seconds between them.
2.5 seconds, a lot of time to make up in a lap, but potentially with someone like Ryan Skywalker, it could be done. Evil Goblin's still very close behind Vetscu, and Abimanyu Menon coming through the Brabham Straight is going to look to be making a move on Alex Heller into the paddock bend. Alex Heller taking a very normal line. Abimanyu not taking quite the optimal line. They're losing about a tenth, but
Evil
battles
Goblin
up
is
and down the
shaping up
pitch.
to move on Vetscu after Vetscu just had a huge kick of overhead through Graham Hill. He's going for the inside in here. Oh, that's how it goes. He's got the move done at Clark curve, but he's lost the momentum. Surely this means Vetscu will have the run back down clearways into Hawthorns.
Vetscu back alongside. Down Pilgrim's drop into Hawthorns Bend. Vetscu's ahead right now, but Evil Goblin's got the inside line. Can he break later? Can he stay ahead of Vetscu? Vetscu, whoa, swiping right on the outside and keeping his position for now.
Oh, he's absolutely gobbled him up there.
He's gobbled him up. Evil Goblin is struggling with his gobbling. Further, but Max Taker comes through to take the win. Overshadowed a little bit by the battles happening further back, but that's another dominant win from Max Taker, capitalising on mistakes and celebrating for us there. But Evil Goblin further back just to come through. Sterling's here. Evil Goblin, can he make a move coming into
Ryan
Clark curve?
Skywalker has done Jovan on the way to the line. I would just like to say that.
Incredible move that we have just missed off camera there. Ryan Skywalker getting that final position podium spot. Incredible. Vetscu staying ahead.
Very well done.
Vetscu just about staying ahead, and Abimanyu looks to have made the move on Alex Heller further back somewhere around the circuit, and he's already gained a second and a half on him. So that's going to put him in good stead for the next race. But wow, what you know what, that was a bit of a slow burner because we started out quite calm, and then all of a sudden
Diego Texera is currently sat in dead last position, and he's going for a move into Sterling's. And oh my, he's half dropped the car. There's nothing else to say about that.
He's struggling there.
Pole position will be going to Diego Texera. With the way he's driving this, I expect it to last all of maybe a corner.
He's really struggling to activate this car to its full potential, isn't he?
He has not got on well with this.
You know what? Everyone has them weeks.
He's turned the engine off and he's just put it in the barrier. And honestly, after that performance, I don't blame him.
There we go. A resounding win for Max Taker there, capitalising on a early incident for Ryan Skywalker, and then other drivers capitalising on Ryan Skywalker's further spins. But Ryan Skywalker still managing to get himself into the podium positions right in the last lap there. Unfortunately missed it on camera. But here we go. 20 drivers once again. 20 drivers on the grid. Right. And now, it's Diogo Texera in pole.
I'm going to ask you here, who do you think out of the top 5 is going to get the best start?
Out of the top 5 currently?
Yeah.
Who have we got here? We've got Diogo Texera, Dankis Creature, Victor Trinidad. Well, I'm not sure. I think this is all in the hands of Victor Trinidad. He seems like a bit of a bandit. He seems like he could get some good moves made.
I reckon Abimanyu's going to do it. So there's 6 lights. It's holding them for long. It's holding them for a long time, and away we go. And it's a fantastic start by Abimanyu, who's had to take to a grass to avoid, I think it was Victor Trinidad, which has absolutely ruined his start.
I have just cursed him, but Diogo Texera is off in the lead, and he's managed to get himself straight ahead.
And Alex Heller has just absolutely buffed that dankest creature out the way for second place.
Absolutely demolished him there. Who's this Victor Trinidad up the inside of Dankest Creature? Not quite happening this time around. And Vetscu up the inside of Evil Goblin. This battle's still raging on even into the second race.
Dankest Creature has absolutely, oh my word, big contact. Dankest Creature and Alex Heller.
Vetscu collides with Alex Heller. Oh no! Alex Heller having a serious incident with Vetscu. Vetscu punting him off. It collides with other drivers. And who's gone down with him? I think it was Thomas Vate that went down with him there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd just like to say, Michelle Rodriguez has had an awful start to that race, as well as who was it? It was Jovan as well. They've all had terrible starts. Ryan Skywalker has just done 2 of them on. Oh, he's just actually hasn't. He's just. Oh, I've just cursed him.
You've just cursed him. Commentator's curse.
He went to make a move on the inside. He went to take 2 of them on the inside on the way into Hawthorns Bend. He got past the first, came alongside the second, who then closed the gap on him. So he tried to back out, made contact with the first, and then got completely demolished by the first one he went past.
Oh, and another driver goes for his darkest secret. He gets an absolute fishtail going on, and he goes flying off the track. And Max Taker is in second place.
And Jovan has just absolutely sent a move on Abarth.
Big
This is
sins
far
from
more
Jovan.
exciting this time.
This is... we're
Evil
going well
Goblin
here.
and Vetsky once again battling it out.
With
Through all
Alberto
one-
Rama.
who's
Evil
here?
Goblin, Alberto Rama, Vetsky,
Evil-
3 wide down the
Oh,
bottom
three-
straight. And
Oh,
there's an
yes.
AFK driver. Oh no! And that's Alberto Rama. He's gone off the track on the side of the bottom straight. That's horrific. But Evil Goblin and Vetsky, what's happening with this AFK driver? He doesn't seem to appear. Who's this in the background here? Abarth going right wide at Paddock Bend. Chaos there. Oh my goodness.
Oh my word, this is carnage.
This is truly carnage. Thomas Vate and Abarth having a battle into Druids, side by side. Abarth struggling because he just went off at Paddock Bend into the sand. He's going to try and get something back on Thomas Vate, but Thomas Vate coming right around there and onto him. Round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
And my belittling of Diego Texera I think has worked, because currently he is in the lead. However,
He
Max
is.
Taker is right behind him.
Truth be told though, Diego Texera is in the lead, and by, excluding Max, he is ahead by 5.5, 6 seconds. So, you know what?
In fairness, the next 3 were all 3 wide and then had to take avoiding action of an AFK car. So,
That is true. That is true. Max Taker then going to look to make a move on his imposter.
I think Vicious Creature has just left his car in the barrier.
Yeah, he has had enough. He's just off. He was just off camera there. And he's retired.
He's disconnected. Yeah, there he goes.
He's retired.
I would like to say that Max Taker and Diego Texera are both running the same livery, so someone is trying to impersonate someone here.
There is definitely some identity fraud going on between these two. They're trying to steal each other's names. They're trying to steal each other's liveries, and Max is trying to steal his position. You're getting a little bit oversteered there, coming out wide, but Max taking a perfect line there up into Druids. Gonna not try and send a move this time round. Jovan and Ryan Skywalker just further back, still battling away. Ryan just behind, looking to make a move around the outside of Jovan. Jovan taking a compromise line there. Vetsku and Michelle Rodriguez are battling even further back than them. And who's that? Thomas Vate and Michelle Rodriguez going side by side, coming down. I can't keep track. Ryan Skywalker is going to look to make a move.
Michelle Rodriguez.
He did make past Michelle Rodriguez there. Jovan and Ryan battling away.
Thomas Vate was going for a move round the outside of Michelle Rodriguez into Clark's, I believe it is. No, Surtees, my bad.
Surtees there, but Max Taker alongside Diogo Texera coming through the Hawthorne Bend onto the Derek Minter Straight. Coming into Westfield, is Max going to launch a move here? Looks like he's going to try it, and he's made it stick. A little bit of contact there. Diogo clips his side, but he says, you know what? I'll steal your identity, you can have first place. Jovan is going to be looking at Diogo, just doesn't even bother with an apex there. Just runs over the grass. But it looks like Max is going to clear off going up that time, so we can look a bit further back to Ryan Skywalker as they come through Sterling's onto clearways.
In all that time, it has cost them 2 seconds back to Jovan here.
It has indeed. Jovan is going to clear off, because he's going to try and clear off at least, because he's not too far behind Diogo Texera in the grand scheme of things. He could secure that second place position. Ryan
He's not careful, he's going to lose this podium.
Potentially. Potentially. And now ain't that scary, but not if Ryan Skywalker continues like this. He's going onto the grass off Paddock Hill Bend. That's the second time he's done that. And he's lost a bunch of time, and Vetsku's right on his back now. Yeah. Vetsku's going to try and look to make a move around Druids. He's a bit too far back, just a deceptive camera angle there, but Ryan Skywalker losing 4 seconds to Jovan. Just with one mistake around Paddock Bend, it's not a forgiving corner.
The force is clearly not strong with this one.
So I called him Luke Skywalker last week, I think, as well.
I'm late
Victor
to the
Trinidad
jokes.
getting involved. You are, I know. Victor Trinidad getting involved in more battles with Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez in 7th place momentarily. Not Michelle Rodriguez, sorry, Abarth, man on. Abarth up into 7th place ahead of Victor Trinidad, but Victor Trinidad's going to look to fight back, coming down the Pilgrim's Drop. into
There we go.
Hawthorns.
This is gonna be
Oh,
close.
Victor Trinidad and Abimanu are side by side coming into Hawthorns. Looks like Abimanu has got the outside and Victor Trinidad takes the
He's going
eighth
for the
position.
cutback. He just doesn't have the speed for it. He needed to get on the throttle a bit earlier.
Hasn't got
If
the
they're not
momentum.
careful, because Alberto Rama is right behind. It's a very tight line. He's trying to take into I think it was West Bend or Dingle Dell there. And Alberto Rama is going for a move into Sheens. He's got past him. He's done that perfectly. Nicely
Beautiful
sorted.
move there from Alberto
Oh, yeah,
Rama.
so-
Very clean on
Evil
on
Goblin
Abimanu.
is coming to gobble up the pieces, and he's sending a move up the inside.
Oh, Evil Goblin getting wheel to wheel with Abimanu there. Going to gobble up 10th position, but they're side by side coming into the Clark curve. Can Evil Goblin hang around the outside, or is he going to be a bit more cautious like he has been in the past and try and
He's
get the
going for
cutback?
cutback. There he goes.
Once again,
got
Evil
one.
Goblin gets the cutback and he's got a good run this time, and he's ahead of Abimanu in the middle of the Brabham Straight, already ahead of the Paddock Bend. It all comes down to how these drivers can take the Paddock Bend. Is Evil Goblin going to have Abimanu around the outside? Not
Abimanu's
quite
going
hanging around
for
the
it.
outside. Abimanu
Oh.
is sending it, and he sent it successfully, but not quite successful enough, sorry, because he got a little touch on the grass.
He's going
but
for a
gonna-
late lunge. Not enough. He backed out wisely.
Respectful racing there from Abimanu. Would have taken them both out if they'd really gone for that one. But here we go, Abimanu and Evil Goblin battling away. Evil Goblin now ahead. Jovan has got ahead of Diogo Texera. Looks like Diogo Texera might have had a little issue because he's dropped right between Jovan and Ryan Skywalker here.
He's had an awful run through Surtees and he's just lost loads of time. Jovan has just disappeared. He's gone down one gear too many there, I believe, which is why it's kicked out a bit. Alberto Rama has taken, I think it's
Victor Trinidad.
Trinidad.
And
I think
seems to have had an
he's
issue.
also gone off at Surtees, which is why he's got past and lost so many places.
Ryan Skywalker now on Diogo Texera's bumper, 3/10 behind. Diogo Texera is at risk of losing this podium position that he fought so hard to maintain. After a bad first race though, no matter what, as long as he keeps this, top 5, Diogo Texera can be proud of what he's done, because it's a big improvement race on race. Ryan Skywalker looking to make the move into Clark curve, but not quite going to happen. He's going to get a good run on the Brabham Straight though. He looks to have taken the better line. He's up the inside, and he's already alongside down the Brabham Straight, and he's ahead of Diogo Texera in the middle of the Brabham Straight. Another very similar to move what Evil Goblin did. Coming round Paddock Bend, Ryan Skywalker pushing Diogo Texera around the outside and going onto the sand.
He's got
Ryan
him back.
Skywalker's gone into the gravel, and Diogo Texera's got him back. That's just a mistake that Ryan Skywalker keeps making in this car. Onto the gravel, and Diogo Texera is back up into their position with a 2-second gap to Ryan Skywalker. Can Ryan Skywalker make that up in 6 minutes? Likely.
I think he will. He's got the pace on him.
He really does.
He just sorted himself out, needs to level his head. Michelle Rodriguez and Vetsky, I think it is, or no, Thomas Bath are very close together on track. That last lap we did miss Rodriguez going past Bath down through Dingledale. Yeah, Thomas Bath. There we go. Sorry, I've only got the abbreviated leaderboard, so it's a bit difficult for me to guess at times.
So Thomas Batte chased Michelle Rodriguez, coming down Pilgrims, dropping into Hawthorns, but he looks a bit too far back to launch and move this time. It looks like Michelle Rodriguez just got by him.
Second and a half is just too long. He just needs a solid lap or two, and he should be back up behind him.
If Michelle Rodriguez can keep lapping at a good pace, he could be on the back of Vetsky by the end of this race, though, because it looks like the difference between them and lap times. Last lap, I mean, Michelle Rodriguez was much slower, but on fastest laps, Michelle Rodriguez is the fastest driver than Vetsky.
It just comes down to who's going to keep the car on the road longer.
Definitely is, as Max Sager puts in a personal best lap of the race so far, 1:41.752 there. Fantastic lap. That's a qualifying pace.
Someone has pulled off to the pit lane. I'm not sure exactly
it's
who
Victor
that is.
Trinidad. Victor Trinidad is retiring by the looks of it. He's in stun dead last, and he's getting lapped by the drivers. I think he's calling it a day there.
Do you reckon he's going to get a black flag for speeding in the pits?
I think he's black flagging himself. As we come down the hill into Graham Hill Bend here, Ryan Skywalker's on the tail of Diogo Texera. He's going to look to make a move into Surtees by the looks of it with this speed advantage that he's gone to him. But no, Ryan Skywalker sitting behind, taking the more advantageous line and allowing Diogo Texera to take a compromise line. And Diogo Texera, as Ryan Skywalker would have hoped to have seen, losing time, and he's even closer to the back of him now. closing. Down Pilgrims, dropping into Hawthorns. Ryan Skywalker not going to make a move this time round into Hawthorns by the looks of it. But coming into Westfield, there could potentially
Overcooked it on the brakes.
Oh,
Very
they
smart by Ryan Skywalker to back out there to avoid any possible collisions and give Diego Texeira the room and time he needed to gather it back up. Very good driving.
Very good driving from the pair of them. Well, not so much from Diogo, but at least he didn't have an accident there from Ryan. Yep. Ryan going to the outside of Diogo, all over the place, and he's onto the grass. But he stayed ahead somehow. Coming into Sterling's, Diogo Texeira is still ahead, but he's got a much worse run out down clearways, and Ryan Skywalker is alongside down clearways as they come just into shot, and Ryan Skywalker's ahead before Clark Curve. Diogo Texeira isn't going to be making any moves right now, but he is.
Max Tyker has just done a lap that was 2 tenths faster than the pole lap.
No way! A 1:41.458, that's amazing. Qualifying times in the race. That's what these Abarths can provide. Diogo Texeira
all over the place.
Tokyo drift around Paddock Bend there, losing a lot of time, and Vetscu and Michel Rodriguez are going to be closing on him very, very fast. He just needs to keep it together. He's only got 2 minutes to defend from Vetscu, and he's not that much slower than him. He can definitely defend if he needs to.
Michel Rodriguez just had a very close call with the back of Vetscu's car. Horrible lock up in the way into Druids, went flying straight on, narrowly managed to avoid the back of the car.
But it looks like he could be having a run coming into Surtees and following on towards Hawthorns. There could potentially be a move cooking for Michel Rodriguez on Vetscu, as Vetscu gets a little bit of a worse run out of Surtees, and Michel Rodriguez is slowly gaining.
Now we've got probably 2 laps left, maybe 3 for this race, so it's gonna be possible.
3 laps to make a move as Max Tyker is off in the lead once again, cleared off, but further back here, Michel Rodriguez and Vetscu having another crazy battle. It looks like track limits are being very leniently looked at in some of the corners here by the stewards because these drivers are getting away with it.
I think the stewards must have a very greased palm at the minute.
You know what? It depends. Some tracks the stewards are quite strict. You go a pixel over at Eau Rouge and you've got a drive-through. But Michel Rodriguez here getting a better run out of Sterling's onto clearways. He's ahead before the Clark Curve.
Yeah. Sensible bet to you, just letting it happen, dropping in behind and just letting them make mistakes, carry the speed through the corner. Now is he going to get the slipstream advantage? He's definitely in it, but as we've realised, it's just not as powerful as you think. He's keeping it outside to make sure he gets as good a run as possible through the corner and just let Michel Rodriguez go drifting.
Michel Rodriguez gets all sideways, losing a bit of time to Diogo Texeira there between them. Diogo Texeira is going to be very happy to see that as Michel Rodriguez dives to the inside to take a very, very inside line through Druids. Vetscu just all over the back of Michel Rodriguez, trying to regain some time. He's losing time right now, but that's not going to help Michel Rodriguez. Why is everyone going into the grass on the Cooper Straight? What's all that about? It's a favourite of the drivers today. Michel Rodriguez gets sideways around Surtees, and Vetscu is coming right onto the back of him into Pilgrim's Drop. He's going to be gaining, just like Michel Rodriguez did last lap on him, trying to cook up a move. He just needs to, you know what, Vetscu just needs to sit behind and wait for a mistake to come, because these drivers are pushing on the limit today. With these cars, they are not forgiven.
Yeah. I still think we need to slow a few of them down again after all the carnage at the start of the races.
I mean, bad news for us all is that it's McLaren's next week, so let's see how that goes. The GT3 car might have a bit more downforce.
Let's the old 595 the week after, see how that one goes.
Vetscu, miles wide. Gains time on Michel Rodriguez with that, but kind of a compromised line through Sterling's there onto clearways, and he's dropped back a little bit from Michel Rodriguez there, thanks to that moment, we'll call it, a moment.
Yep. I prefer them called them Safari Adventures with how wide he went. But
I think you saw the Chatham Zoo. So final lap for these drivers, as this seems to still be the closest battle.
Diego Texeira's just completely screwed up Pilgrims.
Oh no, just ahead there, Diogo Texeira has come out of paddock, he's gone to the gravel and he's had an absolute nightmare. He's lost 2 positions in one corner. He's going to get hunted down by Thomas Vatte. Thomas Vatte going to look to try and take this sixth place position from him. Thomas Vatte, a good driver as well as Diogo Texeira. These two are going to have a good battle to the end, I'm sure. But, how unfortunate for Diogo. Thomas on the outside, Diogo on the inside, coming into Surtees. Diogo surely has the more advantageous line here. Going to be able to take a better line through up to Pilgrim. But Diogo runs wide. Thomas Vatti on the inside. Thomas Vatti gets ahead of Diogo Teixeira, coming even before Pilgrim's drop there, under the bridge.
I think Vetchky must have been on his phone, because I don't know if you saw, but briefly he just drove off the track.
Yeah, you know what? I've been there.
I've definitely never done that in a straight line. What?
You know, sometimes you get your phone. But anyway, Max Taker comes through. He's already at Clark Curve and was lost track of him there to take a second win. 2 wins out of 2 today. This man is the master of the Abarth.
Is that the first time that's happened? Same person win twice, or was that Jesus at
I think Jesus won 2 once at Nürburgring. But there we go, Max Taker from Jovan Oisthausen, from Ryan Skywalker.
You're not going to believe it. Alberto Rama has just done Diego Teixeira because he didn't put it in gear on the way out of Stirling's.
And so coming around on the final lap into Stirling's there, Alberto Rama makes a move for 7th place and Diogo Teixeira drops down into 8th. You know what, it kind of came undone there for Diogo Teixeira at the end, but he did have a good race up until then. But there we have it, the second race completed and we lost half the grid somehow. Through one way or another, we lost half the grid in that race, but
we started off with 20 drivers and we finished with 11.
You know what?
Yeah.
The Abarth claims yet more casualties.
Yeah. I think this has got to be the worst race I've seen. I don't think we've had a casualty rate quite this bad before, have we?
Potentially not. There's something about the Abarth. You know what? I think every driver struggled today with these cars. Every driver but Max, who just played off. So,
yeah, definitely driver of the day.
Definitely driver of the day.
No questions.
It was an easy choice, really. The only driver that could capitalise on all the mistakes and control the car.
The only person who could clearly drive the car. My thinking was, give him a slower car, we'll slow him down, and it'll be fine. And the whole track Titan community's gone, you know what? I'm going to make sure you're wrong.
But they have been practicing the donuts as Diogo Teixeira and Michelle Rodriguez, because they both seem to be the masters of them.
Yeah.
So we've learnt our lesson. Next week it's the McLaren MP4, what's it called? MP412C GT3 at Mugello. The fast McLaren, the nice looking one. We all know it. Not the F1, but the nice one.
Oh, the wrong one. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for having me again.
Not a problem, Tom. It's been a pleasure to stream this with you and to watch some chaos. No one would rather watch a more chaotic race with. So that has been it for this week. The Track Titan Community Race number 7, the Abarth 500s at Brands Hatch. 2 chaotic races, 2 wins for Max Taker, and that puts his total win count, I think, up to 3 or 4. I'll have to double check the results. But there we have it. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I've been Adam Chapman from Track Titan.
And I've been Tom Jones.
From Llandudno.
well, from Rethink Racing, if you want to go there.
From Rethink Racing, the successful British 24-hour team, who, if you want to look back at the live stream, did all right. Yeah. Did all right.
Yeah.
So check out those British
24-hour
live stream.
Avoid certain parts where Adam Chapman did us dirty with his camera controlling. But yeah.
You know, sometimes you got to film some things. Sometimes you got to film some drivers going off. And just like we did today, we filmed quite a few drivers going off. I think we violated a lot more than just rethinking this race. But that's been it. That's been everything.
You need to rethink your commentary.
That's been everything from us today for the Abarth 500 at Brands Hatch. Next week McLaren's at Mugello. Look forward to seeing everyone there. Thank you very much for joining us. Tom?
Good night.
Good night.